Greetings everyone, you are welcome to this video tutorial. This is part 2 of inheritance in C++. Now let us discuss the various types of inheritance. There are 5 different types of inheritance: single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance and hybrid inheritance. Now let us see what is single inheritance. Single inheritance is one where you have a single base class and a single derived class. So let us see an example. If this is class A, suppose, and this is my base class, or can also be called the super class, and this is my class B, you can see here, and class B is inheriting from class A. So my class B is the subclass, or you can say it is a derived class. So this is an example of single inheritance, because in this type of inheritance there is only one base class and one child class or subclass. So this is single inheritance. Now let us see an example of single inheritance. In this example, we are declaring a class student, and the private members of the class are char name and float marks, and the protected member is a member function result, and the public members are the student constructor and enroll and display member functions. Now this is my base class, and class course is inheriting publicly from the base class student. You can have any mode of inheritance, public, protected or private, and in this case the class course is inheriting the class student publicly. This is the symbol of inheritance. You can see this is my student base class and this is my course class, which is the child class, and it is inheriting from the student class. Now the class course has its own data members, private members as course code and course name, and then the public members as its own constructor, and the member functions as comments and course details. So this is just an example to show how the single inheritance can be implemented in C++. So in this case, one base class and one child class. Now let us understand what is multi-level inheritance. In multi-level inheritance, a subclass inherits from a class that itself inherits from another class. So there are levels of inheritance. Let us see how it can be depicted using a diagram. So if this is my base class, class A, and then the class B is the child class of class A. It is inheriting from class A, and class C is inheriting from class B. So this is the subclass of class B. So you can see that class A is the base class. For class B, class A is the base class and class C is the child class. And for class C, class B is the base class. It is a child class of class B. So we have 3 levels of classes. That is why it is called multi-level inheritance. Let us see an example of multi-level inheritance. Suppose we have 3 classes. You can see it diagrammatically. The furniture class, which is the base class. Then class sofa is inheriting from furniture, and class office is inheriting from class sofa. So in multi-level inheritance, indirectly office is also inheriting from feature. This is a transitive nature of inheritance, which we have already discussed in the part 1 video. Let us see a class furniture. It has the data members, private members as type and model, and then the public members are its constructor and read data and display data. Then you can see class sofa. It is inheriting publicly from class furniture, this public furniture, and it has members as number of seats and cost, and the public members are in data and out data. Then we have another class, class office, which is inheriting privately from class sofa. The mode of inheritance is your choice. You can have any mode of inheritance depending upon the need. Now class office has data members as number of pieces and delivery date, and then the public members as read details and display details. You can see there are 3 classes. One is the base class, which is the furniture. Sofa is inheriting from furniture, and then one more child class is there, office, which is inheriting from sofa. So this is an example of multi-level inheritance. Now let us talk about multiple inheritance. In multiple inheritance, a derived class inherits from multiple base classes. This is multiple, that is why there are multiple base classes, and it has properties of all the base classes. So let us suppose we have 2 base classes, class A and class B. So in this, the child class, class C, is inheriting from both class A and class B. So it is inheriting from both the classes. Let us take an example of it. So we take the example. Suppose we have two classes, chairperson and director. So company is a child class which is inheriting from both the base classes, chairperson and director. Let us implement it in C++. So we have a class chairperson and the data members are chair ID and name, and the protected members are the description and allocate member function, and the public member functions are chairperson, assign and show. Now we have another class, class director, which has the data members, private data members as director ID and director name, and the public member functions are the constructor of the class and two other member functions, entry and display. Now we have a class company. You can see here colon we have put, and then it is inheriting privately from the class chairperson and publicly from the class director. So class company is inheriting from two classes, class chairperson and class director. So both these classes are acting as a base class for the child class company. And company has its own features like company ID, city and country, which are the private members, and it has public members as member functions CT entry and CT display. So this is how we can implement multiple inheritance in C++. Now let us talk about hierarchical inheritance. In hierarchical inheritance, it is like an inverted tree structure. So multiple classes inherit from a single base class. Earlier we had, you can see here, we had multiple base classes and a single child class in the case of multiple inheritance. But in the case of hierarchical inheritance, it is just the opposite. We have a single base class and multiple child classes. So you can see here in the diagram, we have class A, which is the base class, and class B, class C and class D are subclasses of the class A. So we have multiple base classes in this case. So let us understand it by an example. Suppose we have a class toys, then class soft toys and electronic toys. Both of these subclasses are inheriting from the base class toys. So this toys class have two subclasses. So this is an example of hierarchical inheritance. Now let us see how this can be implemented in C++. So first we'll create a base class, class toys, and it has the members as T code and the protected member as price and the member function assign. And then in the public section, it has the constructor and then two member functions T entry and T display. Now the class soft toys, it is inheriting publicly from the class toys, and then it has two member functions st name and weight, and the public member functions as the constructor and two member functions st entry and st display. Then there is one more base class, electronic toys, and it is also inheriting publicly the base class toys. So this is a base class and these two are child classes. Electronic toys has its own features like the data members et name and number of batteries, and the member functions as et entry and et display. So there is a single base class and multiple child classes. This is called hierarchical inheritance. Now let us talk about hybrid inheritance. It is a combination of two or more types of inheritance. In this type of inheritance, we can have a mixed number of inheritances. So you can see here, this is class A. This is a single class which has multiple child. So this is a part of hierarchical inheritance. And then these two, class B and class C, these are the subclasses of class A. And then from the class B and class C, they are acting as the base classes for the class D. So this part is an example of multiple inheritance in which there are multiple base classes. So in this example of hybrid inheritance, multiple and hierarchical inheritances are combined together. So this is an example of hybrid inheritance. Now let us talk about the constructors and destructors in base and derived classes. Now derived class can have their own constructors and destructors. When an object of a derived class is created, the base class constructor is executed first, followed by the derived class constructor. It is very important to note down if we have base class and child class, both the classes we have, and we are making an object of child class only. So in that case, the constructor of base class is called first and then the constructor of child class. Similarly, when the object of derived class goes out of scope, the destructor of derived class is called first and then the destructor of base class. It is very important to know the sequence of execution of constructors and destructor in the case of inheritance. In the case of constructor, constructor of base class is executed first and then that of child class, while in the case of destructor, the destructor of child class is executed first and then the base class. Let us see how we can pass arguments to a base class constructor. Suppose base class constructor also is a parameterized constructor. In that case, if a base class has parameterized constructor, then it is the duty of child class to pass the parameters for base class constructor also at the time of creation of object. So it is the duty of child class only. So let's see how it works and how it can be implemented in C++. Now consider a class student which has the private members as name and marks and the protected member as result member function. Its public members has a student constructor which is not a simple constructor. It is a parameterized constructor and it needs two parameters, name and marks. Then the two other members are enroll and display member functions of the class student. Now we have a class course which is inheriting publicly from class student. You can see here it is inheriting publicly from class student. So in class course we have the course code and course name as the data members. Now in the public section, while defining the constructor for class course, we will send the parameters for constructor of class student also. Let's see how. Now the course constructor will have 4 parameters instead of 2. It has its 2 parameters, course code and course name, and besides this it has 2 more parameters, name and marks, which are the data members of class student, and then we put a colon and then we give the name of the base class and the name of the parameters which are to be sent to the base class. So we are sending name and marks parameters to the base class. So these are the base class constructor parameters. So these are the two other member functions. Now when I create an object of class course, because in the case of inheritance mostly the object of base class is made. So when I made an object of base class course C1, I will pass the parameters, I will pass the values for all the parameters. See, I am passing 01 as the course code, course name is CS, then I am passing Naman as the name and I am passing 460 as the marks. So out of these 01 and CS, they are used to initialize the data members of the child class, and Naman and 460 they will be moved to the base class and they will initialize the data members of base class. This is how we can pass the parameters for the base class constructor through the child class constructor. So this is all for this video. If you like this video, kindly give thumbs up and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.